So when you think of the 4th of July, uh, what first pops into your head? For most of us, I guess it's probably fireworks, right? Lighting up the sky.
Oh, definitely. Fireworks, maybe barbecues, that
Yeah.
kind of smoky backyard smell.
Yeah, or parades maybe down Main Street, all that joyful noise.
Exactly.
Hey.
But beneath all that celebration, there's the real core of it.
American Independence Day.
Right. Commemorating the moment the Declaration of Independence was adopted. July 4th, 1776.
The formal break from Great Britain.
Precisely. And for this deep dive, well, we're not just going to list dates. We really want to explore the story of why July 4th became the day. It's full of some unexpected twists.
Twists. Okay, I'm intrigued because I feel like I've heard whispers that the actual split, the legal break, didn't technically happen on the 4th. Is that right?
You were absolutely right to ask that. Yeah, that's where some of the, let's say, historical irony kicks in. The actual legal separation. That happened 2 days earlier, July 2nd, 1776.
July 2nd. Okay.
Yeah. That's when the Second Continental Congress, which was, basically the government for the colonies then, they voted yes on the resolution for independence, the one Richard Henry Lee had proposed.
So if the vote was the 2nd, why are we all grilling hot dogs on the 4th? That's the big question, isn't it?
It really is. So what happened between the 2nd and the 4th? Well, what's fascinating is, after voting for independence on July 2nd, Congress then turned its focus to the Declaration of Independence itself.
Ah, the document.
Exactly, which wasn't the legal act of separating, but it was the big public statement, the explanation to the world, mostly written by Jefferson.
It's explaining why they were doing it.
Right. They spent time debating it, tweaking the wording, and they finally approved that text on July 4th. And this detail, it's not just trivia. It really shows how much a public, widely shared document can shape, national identity.
Yeah.
How symbolism sometimes wins out over technical dates.
Okay, that clicks. It explains John Adams's famous letter to Abigail, right? Written on July 3rd. He predicted July 2nd would be the day. The most memorable epocha, he said. You thought we'd celebrate that day with fireworks, bells, bonfires.
He was spot on with how we'd celebrate, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just off by 2 days on the date.
Amazing.
Yeah, and his prediction was off because basically right from the start, people celebrated the 4th. That was the date printed big and bold on the declaration everyone saw.
Yeah.
Not July 2nd, the date of the sort of internal vote.
So public perception took over immediately.
Pretty much. And, speaking of the declaration, there's another wrinkle. When was it actually signed?
Oh, wasn't it signed on the 4th?
Well, that's what many people think, and even what some signers like Jefferson and Adams later recalled.
Yeah.
But most historians now, they lean towards it being signed about a month after adoption, probably in August.
Wow, okay, so history's a bit messier than the neat story we sometimes tell.
It usually is. And it gets even stranger, or maybe more remarkable, with the date itself. Think about John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Both signed the Declaration, both became president.
Right. Rivals, colleagues. Complex relationship there.
Both died on the exact same day,
Don't tell me.
July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration's adoption.
No way. That's almost unbelievable. Seriously.
Seriously, and it doesn't stop there. James Monroe, another early president, though not a signer, he also died on July 4th, but in 1831.
Okay, this is getting spooky.
And wait, there's one more. Calvin Coolidge, the 30th president. He was born on July 4th, 1872, the only president born on Independence Day.
That is just wild. It's like the date itself has this gravitational pull in American history.
It really feels that way, doesn't it? These coincidences just seem to cement July 4th's significance beyond just the adoption of a document. It's tied to the nation's leadership, its legacy, almost like fate underlining the date.
So, given all this, the July 2nd vote, the July 4th declaration, the signing debate, these incredible coincidences, how did the 4th actually become the holiday we know?
It started fast, really fast.
Yeah.
By 1777, just 1 year later, you had 13 gun salutes happening. Philadelphia held a big first anniversary party. Sound familiar? Dinner, toasts, parades, music, fireworks. They even decked out ships in red, white, and blue.
Setting the template right away.
Pretty much. George Washington in 1778 gave his soldiers a double ration of rum to celebrate. Even across the ocean, Adams and Ben Franklin hosted a dinner for Americans in Paris.
So it caught on quickly as the day.
Very quickly. By 1781, Massachusetts made it an official state celebration, first state to do so. It just embedded itself into the American identity almost immediately.
And the name Independence Day, that came later.
First recorded use seems to be around 1791.
Okay, but it took a while to become a federal holiday, right?
It did. Congress made it an official but unpaid federal holiday in 1870.
Unpaid.
Yep. It wasn't until much later, 1938, that it finally became the paid federal holiday most people get today. Shows a real evolution in how the nation formally recognized it.
So wrapping this up then, the core tension is fascinating. July 2nd for the legal act, July 4th for the public declaration and the celebration.
Exactly. The legal separation versus the symbolic birth announcement, you could say, and then layered on top those truly amazing coincidences, Adams, Jefferson, Monroe dying, Coolidge being born, all on July 4th. It just seals its unique place.
It really makes you think. This whole deep dive shows that these big national moments, they aren't always simple, not always just one clean date on a calendar. How does digging into these kinds of nuances, understanding the messier origins, change how you, our listener, maybe think about national traditions, about the stories we tell ourselves?
Yeah, it really underlined how history isn't just past. It's woven right into how we celebrate and understand things today.